If we're going to decolonize our diets, we're going to have to do some foundational work. Hey, it's Shelly Wellness here. And in this video, I'm going to share 11 books that will help you decolonize your diet. So today we're going to be talking about liberating your plate, how that can be a pathway to health and vitality. Because not only do Black lives matter, Black health matters. And what I've noticed is that our being and our energy and our presence is often affected by the foods that we eat. My mother's side of the family is from Jamaica. My father's side of the family is from Alabama. Beautiful mix. The best food memories ever, but I digress. So on my mother's side of the family, the elders age with so much grace. They age with agility and vitality and vitality. They were ital beings. And the ability to be 80-something and still be traveling, have a sound mind, have the ability to walk. It might be slower, but it's at a pace that is sustainable to life, not taking away from it. I look at what's on their plates. Food from the earth. They moved and migrated to England, but they didn't change their diets. They didn't adopt the diet. They kept their Jamaican diets. And by keeping that diet, that's what's given them their fertility, their vitality, their idleness. And I'm like, oh, so this is how aging looks. I grew up in the United States, so I thought that aging meant that you were obviously going to be walking around in a cane and, you were going to have tubes in your nose and you were going to need assistance breathing and you're going to have a host of medication. I thought that that's what getting old was supposed to look like because that's what I saw around me, including on my African American side of the family. The aged weren't aging as well and they were dying a lot younger. What is it? These are two Black people. This diet, this African American diet, had been heavily colonized. Heavily colonized. The Jamaican diet, colonized as well, but not to the extent that this one. And so the colonization of this diet is not just happening to African Americans, it's happening to Americans, period. However, because of the inequities in our system, African Americans are experiencing way more chronic disease. And that chronic disease is killing us. So if Black life matters, Black health matters. Oh wow, this isn't just happening to Black people. This is happening to people who have been colonized, people who have had their culture taken away from them, people who have not had the ability to freely express who they are and be who they are in society. And that amount of suppression can kill you. It will kill your spirit and eventually it can kill your body. And one of the things I've noticed is that in our spirit is also a hunger for that excellence that we know we can reach. But for whatever reason, you go out there and it seems like there's all these barriers. And it's not that we're not excellent and that we can't be excellent. We just have way more hoops to get through. So it requires a different endurance. It requires a different energy. It requires a different presence. It requires a different being. And once your diet is colonized, once your microbiome in your gut is colonized, once your taste buds are colonized, that colonizer can then do whatever it is they want because they now have access to you inside, control of you inside. I want to encourage you to liberate your plate, to begin to start decolonizing your diet. I'm going to take you on a literary journey so that I can show you the ways that I've learned to decolonize my diet. I've learned to liberate my plate, which has led to me, just so we're clear, ma'am and sir, I'm about to be 40. And look at this. Look at me. I'm about to be 40. No one ever believes it. Hell, I don't even believe it sometimes, but here we are. Here we are. Shout out to Melanin and also shout out to Black Health Mattering. Shout out to decolonizing diets and liberating our plates. So come, let me take you on a journey. So The Microbiome Solution by Dr. Chukin was the book that helped me realize that, oh my goodness, this colonization thing, there's levels to this. Our guts have been colonized. Whoa. There's a whole entire world inside of this gut. In our guts, we have an entire colony of bacteria. And that bacteria determines a lot about how we feel, how we digest food, how we go through our day, what we crave, how much energy we have, how much energy we don't have. Some of it is dope for you, some of it is not. So you want the balance of the beneficial bacteria and the not so great bacteria. This helps build resistance. and this builds strength. Think about your bacteria as an army. Whenever you get sick or a food or substance that's strange and foreign and harmful comes into you, who do you want to be in your army? Who do you want to be your defender? Do you want your army of bacteria warriors to be strong? And I want my warriors to be able to go to combat and take them out. Our lives are not a sacrifice. Our lives are not up to societal or commercial decisions of whether or not we should live. We exist. We live. We are here. And I want an army that's going to support that. And when you have those bacteria in harmony and they're working together, man, digestion is on point. But when they're not in harmony, digestion is off. And when that system is off, we're off. And so what creates that system? Well, could it be the food we're eating? The food we're eating. So if we're eating a colonized diet, if we're eating a diet that continues to colonize us, how could we be free? So liberating your plate starts with liberating your gut. But it's this book, The DORITO Effect. Thank you for writing this book, because this book goes into how our food has been colonized. And again, I'm not just talking about for Black people, I'm talking about for anyone that grew up in the United States of America, anyone that is American, colonized food. This book helped me to realize how hooked and hijacked my taste buds were. Reading this book will help you understand food addiction. It will help you understand how much this system that we live in currently is designed intentionally for that, because profit over people has been the dominating principle. So the profit of these bag of Doritos is going to trump whether or not your body really needs it and can thrive off of it. So this was whoosh. So now I know I got to get free. Reading the microbiome, I recognize I need to repopulate my gut with a stronger army. Because my army, I came in strong, just so we're clear, but my army got weakened over the years because I was eating school food, because I was eating fast food, because I was eating snacks, because I was eating whatever the hell was there just because it was there and convenient and available. Hey, hello fast food drive-ins. How many of us were raised on fast food or raised on convenience food? I shout out my parents. I was raised on food that was cooked at the table. Both of my parents grew up from the land, so they brought that knowledge with them. But I grew up in the United States of America as well, where I went to public school and I had school lunch and I would get McDonald's every now and then. These habits that I was eating began to destroy my gut over time. I didn't know it though until I hit about 30, and that's when it was like, oh. I can't digest this anymore. Why can't I digest this anymore? I used to eat this all the time. What's the problem now? I got to decolonize my diet. There's none other than the queen herself. Shout out to Queen Afua. I had an opportunity to work with Queen Afua in 2014 and serve as her assistant, and I learned so much on that journey. So thank you, Queen Afua, for being who you are and helping to liberate our plates. Shout out to the queen. City of Wellness. This book is the book that made me realize that liberation is key, and a diet is a way to it. There are many ways to be liberated. I'm not saying this is the only way. This book just outlines that path to liberation. And now that you're in the City of Wellness, come on now. Shout out to the late and dope Dr. Layla Africa, African Holistic Health. This book I had before I was on my wellness journey, but this book was the book that made me realize that the power to restore and to heal is in here. We already have the power. So we don't have to give over our power to exterior things, i.e. drugs and pills that are man-made or manufactured. There's a natural way to do that. Herbs that already grow on the earth, different healing techniques and modalities. This exists in this book. Whenever I would have an issue, I would consult this book first in tandem with the wisdom of my doctor. Bringing these two worlds together has been super helpful. So I recommend this book for sure. That will help liberate your plate. So y'all, the foundation is laid. We have the tools that we need to liberate our guts, to liberate our plates, to liberate our lives. Now that you have the knowledge, it's not enough to know and not do. So we got to translate that into the kitchen somehow. And that's where cookbooks come in. Vibration Cooking by Vertimae Smart Grosvenor. Vibration Cooking. Now this book, y'all, what I love about this book is that this book reminds us as Black people that we have a soul, a magic, a spirit, a juju that we can bring into our food. Now, when you cook with vibration, not just recipe, but you add that oomph in it, you already know. You've had your grandma's food, so you know what that tastes like. You know what it tastes like when somebody put their foot in it. You know what it tastes like when somebody's hand is sweet. So this book is about that. It's reminding you, like, listen, we have to get back to our roots of cooking. So what's there for us in this way of cooking and this way of living and this way of eating is an energetic intake that then is enlivening you. So you're not just eating dead food. So this book is amazing for that. Provisions. For someone who grew up on Jamaican food, there are dishes that are near and dear to my heart. And there are times where I'm like, I want to remix this. I'm also American. I grew up in London. I grew up in Rotterdam, Holland. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up traveling the world by the time I was 11. So my taste buds were well informed globally. And so this combines places and memories, and it takes what is most natural to the earth and then brings it to a level that makes your taste buds go, These women can cook. Caribbean Vegan by my friend Tamer Mason. Shout out to Tamer. I remember when Tamer was writing this book, and I am so proud to see the journey that it's taken and the lives that it's been changing. And so I was at a potluck one time here in New York, and someone made a recipe from her book, and I was like, mwah, yes! It's nice to see that this way of eating has taken off, that it's grown, and that people are embracing it. And so if you are interested in plant-based foods or trying vegan foods, not necessarily going vegan, but incorporating more plant-based or trying vegan foods into your diet, and you love Caribbean food, you have to get this book. This book, she does an incredible job of taking dishes that you grew up on and then just substituting the ingredients without sacrificing the flavor or the texture. Taste is what we want. So she keeps all the taste and brings so much health, and I appreciate that. So this book, Tamer Mason, Caribbean Vegan. Rachel brings that juju into the kitchen. If you've ever watched her videos on YouTube, she is dancing, she is singing, she is just present and in love. Whole foods, plant-based, and turns them into glorious meals. This sister can cook. So if you're not already subscribed to her YouTube channel, you need to, Rachel Amma. But also make sure you buy the book. This book is a real treat. Rachel Amma's Vegan Eats. Rachel Amma's recipes also have that mixture. So it's like you get some feels of where she's been and where she's coming from. So it's not just strictly Caribbean, but it is like this fusion of Caribbean and African and European. If you're looking for more vegan options and more plant-based recipes, Rachel Amma's. So the next book I want to recommend is on my friend Janae's Sweet Potato Soul. And if you don't have this book, get it. Especially if you grew up on soul food. Especially if you grew up on Southern food. What this book does is take what's near and dear to our homes, to our celebrations, to our gatherings, our barbecues, to our family get-togethers, to our potlucks, to our church gatherings. And she takes those recipes and remakes them into pure vegan deliciousness without sacrificing any of the taste, any of the flavor that you've grown to love, and keeping all the goodness. This book by Edie Aki, Flavors of Africa, is a book that I got because as I was starting to decolonize my diet, I realized, oh wow, this isn't simply about going vegan or going plant-based. This is about reconnecting with my roots. And since food is my language and food is my lens, then of course food is how I'm going to do that. So when I found this book, what I love most about it was that it was a combination of foods from all over the African continent. I know sometimes people like to think of Africa as a country. It is not. It is a whole entire continent with loads of countries, each one having their own culture and uniqueness. And this book highlights that. It is like a journey. It is a trip. She is taking you to North Africa. She is taking you to the east. She is taking you to the south. She is bringing you in the central area, and she is taking you to the west. And everywhere she's taking you, she's not disappointing you with flavor and with deliciousness. And this book is good if you're an omnivore. If you want to go plant-based, there's a combination of recipes in here. But again, part of decolonizing our diet is also returning to our roots. What are the foods that best suit us as Black people? What are the foods that best suit us as humans? What are the foods that best suit us as people who are energized and thriving? What are the foods that best suit us as people that are excellent? What are the foods that best suit us as people that are here to accomplish and to achieve and to be in community and to be in harmony and to love and to exist in a way that honors our being and doesn't threaten our livelihood? Liberate your plate. And last but not least, Senegal. Mwah! I already love Senegalese food, so this was a no-brainer for me, but I want to shout out this chef. And shout out to the chefs who are doing the work of food sustainability and of bringing our awareness and our attention to eating from the land and the goodness that can come from it, and restoring our cultures, and also giving voice and telling the stories of our food cultures and where we come from. And this book is not just a recipe book. It is an entire travel and venture through Senegalese cuisine and Senegalese food ways, and why they eat the way they do, and the customs, things like being communal and eating together from the same plate, and eating with your hands versus utensils, and what that does for your digestive system, what it does for building community and relationships with others. And not to mention the recipes are bomb, so if you have not had Senegalese food, my God, you are missing out. It's also beautifully shot and beautifully written, and so this is a piece that could be a coffee table book, but definitely it needs to be in your kitchen, and read it. Take some of the recipes, try a new thing. And again, this is about decolonizing the diet. So your ancestry might be Senegalese, it might not be, but some of these food ways might be better suited for you, and uplifting your being and giving you the vitality that you deserve to have every day. Because what? Black lives matter. Black health matters. Y'all, I hope these books are great recommendations for you. I hope you're able to use them. If you want to see more content like this, give this video a like. If you want to be notified when content like this comes out, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, then click on the links in the description. All of those are affiliate links that will take you so you can buy the books that I just mentioned in the video. All right, y'all. I'll see you next time. Be well.